everybody, it's Chris and Des Show.
Who are you?
I'm Chris.
And I'm Des.
Should we start over?
I don't think we should.
Oh,
Keep
man.
going.
Hey, everybody. I'm still Chris. This is still Des. But we're talking about the Golden Globe nominations.
There's a lot of it.
I'm so early to watch them.
It's okay.
And we're just talking about like some surprises, some things we think that like, oh, this is a cool trend, or what the heck is happening here. And so the nominees for Best Picture Drama were Black Panther, Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, If Beale Street Could Talk, and A Star Is Born. The shocker there for everybody was Bohemian Rhapsody, who the critics have not liked.
That surprised me.
But we were talking about it's a total Golden Globes type movie. Big and flashy and good. And what's interesting is... Sorry.
Okay.
Is that like... I think a lot of people are talking about Rami Malek for Best Actor at the Oscars because he's phenomenal. But the movie itself, critics are kind of like panned in a way. But we enjoyed it.
I did.
We really enjoyed it. Yeah. So that was, I think, the Golden Globes have always been like we want big actors to be there. We want big movies to be there.
A lot of fun,
Which the Oscars have in the past thought like, oh no, we're very prestigious, and then every year they're like, we're getting less and less viewers.
I wonder why.
Because no one's seen those movies. And so maybe I think this is going to be a changed year for the Oscars. I think you see a lot of big movies, like especially Black Panther and A Star Is Born, getting a lot of nominations because they want people to be like, oh, I've seen that movie. I've seen that movie.
Some recognition with.
And they're good movies.
They are good.
There was a thing once upon a time in Hollywood of like, if you're too big a movie, like you can't be that well made. But that's not true. There's some really good ones.
Not anymore.
Right. Now that Disney owns everything. And then the actors and actresses. The actresses were Glenn Close for The Wife, who I think is a lock for the
Getting
Oscars.
Nominated. Yeah.
And Lady Gaga, who's a lock as well too.
Yeah, for sure.
Nicole Kidman for Destroyer, which was kind of like under the radar for a while. Nicole Kidman's never under the radar. You should never count her out of anything because she's phenomenal.
She is phenomenal. We haven't seen that movie.
We haven't seen it, but we
know Nicole Kidman. Yeah.
And then Melissa McCarthy, who seems to be getting a lot of buzz for Can You Ever Forgive Me? And she's very good.
She's good in that one.
And then Rosamund Pike for A Private War, which got 2 nominations for song and for
that one was good.
this one. Des saw A Private War. She raved about Rosamund Pike.
The performance was crazy. Crazy good.
The actors are Bradley Cooper for A Star Is Born, who I think is locked for that as well, too, for the Oscars. Willem Dafoe for At Attorney's Gate, which we saw. Yeah. He's phenomenal in it.
He's really good in that.
He's phenomenal. I think he'll have a hard time fighting Ethan Hawke for First Reform at the Oscars. Right. The First Reform got nominated for anything here, but it's not a Golden Globes type movie, so that wasn't a surprise to me. Lucas Hedges for Boy Erased, Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody, and John David Washington for Black Klansman. They really like Black Klansman.
Which role is that in Black Klansman?
He's the guy.
The main guy? Okay.
It's Denzel's son, John David Washington. And so all those actors are great.
All right.
So good.
Oh, there you go.
And then I heard some people talking about surprises. This is, if I would have wrote down the 5 movies I thought were nominated for Best Musical or Comedy, this is exactly the 5 I would have picked. Crazy Rich Asians, The Favorite, Green Book, Mary Poppins, and Vice.
Yeah.
Done.
They
love. Now, Vice have been losing a lot of steam, not getting any critic, like no New York Film Critics, no Washington Secret, no AFI, no National Board Review. But the Oscars love Adam McKay. When he did his, what was the one called with all the housing crisis kind of stuff? Oh, shoot. What is my brain? I'm so tired today. And it was with Christian Bale also. Christian Bale and Steve Carell. And
yeah, I'm not gonna remember the title.
Sorry,
of that.
I'll come back to you in a second because
I know which one you're talking about.
They loved that as well too. It was there for a second and then it went away. And then you want to do the actresses in musical comedy?
Sure. Emily Blunt for Mary Poppins, Olivia Colman for The Favorite, Elsie Fisher for 8th grade. Oh,
she's
you guys,
so good.
This little girl. Oh,
she's
my,
so good.
Stop it. Charlize Theron in Tully, and Constance Wu for Crazy Rich Asians.
I say good for Constance Wu for getting in there for sure.
Yeah.
The good for her because she is she has to carry the movie. It's about her. And
Olivia Colman, though, come on.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard to beat. But Emily Blunt looks like a force of nature in Mary Poppins as well too, and that is a role that is
The
just
Golden Globes
that's
will
a
love
great
that.
role.
Yeah.
And let's Elsie Fisher,
Elsie.
man, Elsie Fisher.
Elsie, we love you.
We love you, and we want you to be nominated for an Oscar.
For
You should be
sure.
nominated for an Oscar for 8th grade.
You're so brave in that movie.
You're so good.
Stop it.
So good. We
So
love
good. Best performance for an actor is in a musical or comedy. Christian Bale for Vice, Lin-Manuel Miranda for Mary Poppins, Viggo Mortensen for Green Book, Viggo, Robert Redford for The Old Man and the Gun, and John C. Reilly for Stan and Ollie.
I was not surprised about those, except John C. Reilly, who came out of nowhere for Stan and Ollie. No one was even talking about that. He looks so good in it. I just watched the preview again like 2 days ago, and he looks so good in it.
About it.
So good for him. I want to see that movie, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
The best animated films, Disney got its 2 big nominations for Incredibles 2 and Ralph Breaks the Internet. Not a big surprise. I've heard amazing things about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
That one looks so good. I can't wait to see that one.
And then Isle of Dogs and Mirai. Mirai is a anime Japanese film, and Isle of Dogs is the stop motion I think it's Wes Anderson.
Wes Anderson,
yeah. And so I haven't seen Isle of Dogs, I haven't seen Mirai, and we haven't seen Spider-Man yet, but we are excited to see it when we do.
Yes.
And we'll let you know how we think of those. But I like Incredibles 2, but I loved Ralph Breaks the Internet. I know not everyone did, but I loved it so much. So I vote for that. The 4 language films are Capernaum from Lebanon, Girl from Belgium, Never Look Away from Germany. That looks so good too. Roma from Mexico. Roma wasn't allowed to be nominated for Best Drama. At the Golden Globes, you're not allowed. If you're a foreign film, you're not allowed to be nominated for the 2 main categories, Best Picture Comedy and Best Picture Drama. And so they're here in Best Foreign Language Film. And then Shoplifters from Japan, which I heard is great too. But Roma will be a Best Picture nominee at the Oscars because they don't have that same rule. Supporting actress?
Supporting actress in any motion picture. Amy Adams for Vice, Claire Foy for First Man, Regina King for If Beale Street Could Talk, Emma Stone for The Favorite, and Rachel Weisz for The Favorite.
I think that's what the Oscars look like, except I don't think Claire Foy makes it. I think First Man is dead at the Oscars. I would imagine.
I think it's going down.
And maybe some technical stuff. It's shot so well. Damien Chazelle is a brilliant filmmaker. That's the issue. Yeah. But I don't think it makes it all the way. Supporting actor is Mahershala Ali for Green Book. Timothy Chalamet. I wrote that on. I think I said his name wrong last time.
I said his name wrong too.
Chalamet for A Beautiful Boy. Adam Driver for Black Klansman. Richard E. Grant for Can You Ever Forgive Me? And Sam Rockwell for Vice. I think the big surprise there was Adam Driver because I think everyone was thinking that. Oh my gosh, I'm so bad with things. From A Star Is Born.
Oh yeah, Sam.
Oh my gosh. Sorry that my brain doesn't work today. We'll keep going. I think everyone thought that he was a for sure. Like even maybe let's win this thing. And then now no nomination. I think that was a big shock. They really liked Sam Elliott. Oh, thank goodness. And he is great. Sam Elliott's great.
He's really good.
Adam Driver was good too. I enjoyed him in that movie as well too. I think this is really about a fight between Mahershala, Timothy, and Richard E. Grant to get the Oscar. That's what I would imagine.
We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. And then Sam Rockwell won Best Supporting Actor last year at the Oscars for 3 Billboards. So he just has Oscar. So maybe they don't feel as much pressure at the Oscars and they replace him with Sam Elliott at the Oscars. That could be something too. Maybe they keep Adam Driver. You never know.
I think Mahershala has it locked up.
Really?
Yeah.
He's been slipping on.
It's just such a great role.
It is a great role.
Gosh. I don't know.
What's funny is it's so 3 different types, such different types of movie. It's like this restrained, I'm the regal black man amongst all of these crazy white people. Or I'm this drug addicted son, and he plays it very to the close to the chest. It's not over the top. And then Richard E. Grant gets to be the more over the top character in that. I think because here's my opinion. I think because that movie, Melissa McCarthy plays it so toned down.
Yeah, that he can go.
And the movie is toned down in general. It's a downer kind of story in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
That he is the upper to it, and so it makes him stand out even more so. I would say
that's
that.
probably true. He gives it the energy.
He definitely does. Director?
Director, Bradley Cooper for A Star is Born. Alfonso
Cuarón.
There you go, what he said. For Roma. Peter Farrelly for Green Book. Spike Lee for Black Klansman. And Adam McKay for Vice.
Excellent. The Big Short is the name of the other Adam McKay movie that I was thinking of. Thank you. Yeah. Those are all great directors, and I think that I wouldn't be surprised if that's what the Oscars look like or look close to, because that sounds like it.
We should. Have we ever thought about comparing the two?
Afterwards?
Like comparing, yeah.
Yeah, we should. We definitely should.
And look at the differences.
For Best Screenplay, we have Alfonso Cuarón for Roma, Deborah Davis and Tony McIntyre for The Favorite, Barry Jenkins for Beale Street Could Talk. Boy, Barry Jenkins can... We haven't seen If Beale Street Could Talk yet, because not it, but that man can write a movie. Moonlight.
Yeah, that's true.
I felt Moonlight, like to inside. You were like, oh, and the writing is... It's like almost like some type of prose in a lot of ways. He's a beautiful writer. And then Adam McKay for Vice, and then Nick Vallelonga, Brian Curie, and Peter Farrelly for Green Book.
That's cool that the guy in it wrote it. So that's
cool. So, very good. And then score went to Quiet Place, Isle of Dogs, Black Panther, First Man, and Mary Poppins. I think that's going to be a showdown between Black Panther and Mary Poppins. Disney fighting itself to win Golden Globes around here. And then Des can tell you the best songs, because I'll get a little too excited about one of them.
Best original song, All the Stars from Black Panther, Girl in the Movies from Dumplin'.
Written by Dolly Parton.
Requiem for a Private War from A Private War.
Written by Annie Lennox. These are big people, right?
Revelation by Boy Erased, and Shallow from A Star is Born.
Written by Lady Gaga and her team of people. Yeah. And Kendrick Lamar wrote all the stars for Black Panther. It's not like these aren't gigantic people. They're huge people. Dear Oscars, please give Dolly Parton an Oscar for writing music, for goodness sake. I dare you to find someone who is... Okay, the one thing, I know she can be nominated for I Will Always Love You because she had written it before when Whitney sang it. But tell me a more iconic movie song. I don't have my phone right now. Tell me more my iconic movie song, I Will Always Love You. No.
Near, far, wherever.
Okay. But still, I argue that is even more so. I Will Always Love You. Okay. Because Titanic was already this big Best Picture movie. Bodyguard was not. That song
that's true.
Propelled it. Good job, Dolly. And then she was already been nominated for the song 9 to 5, another wonderful song, and she was nominated for the song Traveling Through. And so, come on, people!
You might be a little biased.
I dare you not to like Dolly Parton, though. I dare you. You can't not like her, because she's just great.
You're talking to the whole entire internet.
I dare somebody who doesn't like Dolly Parton, come on here, and I'll pray for you, because I don't know what happened. I don't know what else to say. Dolly's so sweet.
Are we doing television? We're not.
No, we're not doing television. Okay, so those are our movie stuff. That's what we think is going to happen, or anything like that.
That's what the Golden Globe thinks is going to.
Well, and what we think is going to happen as far as like comparison to the Oscars. Yeah. I think you see a lot of stuff showing up. Like, I think this to me. So I just talked to someone yesterday, and they said like, "Oh, I don't know about Black Panther for Best Picture." I'm like, "Oh, I think it's a lock." And I think after this, you're like, "No, how can you say no to that?"
It's gotten too much attention this year. It is so good.
And it is so good. And it's
a great movie.
It's an important movie, too. I had said this to someone. The problem with superhero movies is that they've been well made for a long time. The Avengers movies, Captain America movies, they're all well made. Disney's done a great job with them. The Dark Knight movies are well made. But they never felt important and well made. And the Oscars need both things. They can't nominate you just because you're well made. And they need you to feel important. Black Panther is well made and also feels important enough, right? And so I say, and I loved it. I loved it.
I absolutely loved it.
So I'm all about it.
In fact, I'm thinking right now as we're talking, I need to go purchase that movie so I can watch it over and over.
It's a good one. It's real good. Okay, so anyway, that's what we think. Let us know what you think, your reactions.
Please do.
I was happy, I think, overall, right? I think I was pretty happy.
Not too many surprises.
I know, not too many big surprises, but I liked all the people that were in there, and they've made for a good... Oh, one more thing. I know Julia Roberts was on The Bubble for Ben is Back, and if anywhere she was going to get nominated, it was here because they love her at the Golden Globes. But what they decided to do this time was nominate her for Homecoming for her TV show, and so she will be there.
That one.
It's good. So she will be there, and so they kind of, I think, felt like,
yeah, I think
let's
Golden
get Nicole
Globes,
Kim in there too.
They just want people in the room, so they nominate all the fun people.
And I'm all about that.
Yeah, for sure. Get them in the room, get them drunk, and let's see what happens.
Which, I had read this like growing idea that people had that maybe, even though I heard Meryl Streep and Angela Lansbury both have this tiny, tiny part actually in Mary Poppins, but that the Golden Globes love Meryl Streep like nobody's. She has like, what, 20 some nominations. Yeah. That someone had said like, will they nominate her for Best Supporting Actress for Mary Poppins even though her role is so small? Because they just want Meryl Streep to be there at the Golden Globes. So maybe they'll make her a presenter or give her the...
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they'll ask her to come
Ask her to present. Maybe she'll come because the movie Mary Poppins is nominated. Yeah. But that I wouldn't surprise me either. Don't count Meryl out of anything.
Well, no.
So yeah, let us know what you think and how you feel about it.
And here we go. Oscars are coming.
Oscars are coming. See ya.
Bye.